We're getting into some serious Gandalf lore.
And you weren't kidding about deep, the sources you shared. Let's just say, this wizard is more than a walking fireworks show.
Oh, absolutely. We're going way past the movies here.
Yeah.
Honestly, even if you've read the books, these videos, Nerd of the Rings and Deep Geek, they unearth stuff about Gandalf's past, his powers. Mind-blowing, really.
It's amazing, right, how much emphasis is on his journey before Middle-earth even. We're talking thousands of years shaping who he becomes.
See, that's what I love the backstory, because we meet Gandalf all wise and ancient, but he starts as Olorin, this, angelic being chilling in the Undying Lands.
And the sources, they don't let you forget how hard it was for him to leave. Imagine that paradise, right? Then you're told, go fight this evil, might not come back. Heavy stuff.
Makes his whole Middle-earth gig even more impressive then, huh? Olorin wasn't exactly signing up for a vacation.
Not at all. And it's important to remember he's not alone. The Istari, these wizards, he's one of them. But here's the thing. Others head east, right? Gandalf sticks around the Westlands, closer to the elves, the remnants of Numenor.
Like drawn to places already kind of fading, fighting a losing battle maybe, even before Sauron's a big deal. Am I connecting dots that aren't there?
No, you're spot on. That sense of preserving, of holding back the darkness, it's core to him, even the names he chooses. Mithrandir with elves, Tharkun with dwarves.
He's not just Gandalf says. He gets people on their level, literally.
Exactly. Understanding, connection, that takes time. And this long view, seeing how history really unfolds slowly, it's huge as we follow Gandalf through Middle-earth, through the ages.
So less about every date on his calendar, more like the key moments that make Gandalf, Gandalf. I like where this is going.
Exactly. For example, Nerd of the Rings goes into this whole thing with Dol Guldur, that creepy old fortress. We're talking centuries before Bilbo. But Gandalf's already picking up on Sauron, like a hint of him coming back.
A detective almost. Sensing this darkness long before anyone else believes it. Chills, man, chills.
And that early warning, it shows something all the sources agree on. Gandalf's figuring out Sauron as he goes. This isn't just one fight, it's like chess on a world-ending scale.
Okay, now I'm hooked. How does Detective Gandalf work this case, then? Give me the next clue on his path to figuring Sauron out.
Well, his whole thing with the hobbits, that's a good example. Nerd of the Rings, they point out. Gandalf's not just being, a cute old wizard. He'd seen them through this rough winter once, way back when. Saw something deeper there.
So hold on. More than just pipeweed and elevensies for Gandalf. He was, studying hobbits.
Exactly. Their strength, their connection to the land. He recognized it way before they ever left the Shire. Seeing potential where others don't, that's Gandalf.
Right. But even knowing hobbits are secretly badass.
Yeah.
We're still talking Sauron here. How does he connect those dots?
That's where his search for Thrain comes in, the Dwarf King. Leads him right back to Dol Guldur. And that's when he gets it confirmed. Sauron's back, no doubt.
Wait, for real? The wise wizard himself shows up like, bad news, guys, it's the Dark Lord, and they blow him off.
Pretty much. The White Council, right, the guys who are supposed to be on this, they're stuck in debate mode. In Deep Geek makes a point about how frustrated Gandalf gets with that. This isn't the movie Gandalf calmly guiding everyone. He's passionate, pushing them to act, and they're just dragging their feet.
Ugh, I've been in those meetings. Makes you wonder if Gandalf needed a smoke break after, wizard stress relief.
Hey, a wizard's gotta cope. But seriously, it shows something important. Gandalf's wisdom, it wasn't about always having the right answer or never getting riled up. He felt it, that responsibility.
And talk about responsibility getting heavier. Because then we're into the Hobbit, right? He's not just investigating, he's moving pieces on the board.
Exactly, that line. If this hobbit goes with you, you will succeed. If not, you will fail. Getting Bilbo in with Thorin's company, not a whim. That's years of Gandalf's knowledge at work.
Still gives me chills, that line. Knowing what we know now about Bilbo. But back then, it's just another example of Gandalf seeing the whole picture while everyone else is zoomed in.
And while he's guiding them, he's also off fighting necromancers, wrangling rogue orcs. The dude's got multiple battles going on, always with that bigger threat in mind.
So we've got time-traveling Gandalf, detective Gandalf, strategist Gandalf. Are we going to talk about him actually being a wizard, though? Dude throws fire, breaks staffs like toothpicks. That's some serious magic juice.
And that's what makes this next part so cool. In Deep Geek, they break down his abilities, and it goes so far beyond the movies. It's less about being flashy, more about knowing how to use it, and honestly, restraint.
Hold up, restraint. With that much power. Okay, now you have to explain. Okay, so Gandalf playing it cool with the magic, Sauron's out there causing chaos, and we're talking restraint. It's like bringing a book of riddles to an axe fight, right? What's the deal here?
It's not so much about holding back for the sake of it. Remember what the Astari were told. Don't try to be Sauron, to beat him with raw power. Their whole thing was guidance, inspiration, helping Middle-earth help itself.
So, less Wizard King, more like magical guidance counselor. I see it. But still, wouldn't a little boom now and then get things moving?
See, that's where the cost of magic comes in. In Deep Geek, they talk about how some spells, they take it out of Gandalf. He's not just being polite, holding back, it's strategic. Especially with those big words of command he can use.
Like when he snapped Saruman's staff, that wasn't just a spell, that was like a cosmic power move.
Exactly. Suggests a deep connection to magic itself, and those have consequences. Imagine trying to rally anyone with a Gandalf who needs a nap after every spell. Not exactly inspiring.
So he paces himself, plays the long game. Okay, Gandalf is playing 4D chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers.
And that's kind of his superpower, you know? Not just the big magic, but knowing when to use it. All these sources, they keep coming back to this. Real strength is empowering others, not ruling them.
Makes you think, right? He could have just tried to grab the ring from Frodo. Wizard takes dangerous artifact at the end.
Yeah.
But instead,
He trusts the Hobbit, because sometimes the smallest person, they can make the biggest difference if you give them a chance. And that belief, that faith in others, it's in everything Gandalf does.
wow. So we went from Gandalf's ancient history to detective work, his crazy powers, and now holding back as a power. Talk about a deep dive.
It makes you think, right? Beyond the flashy magic, there's the magic of trust, inspiration, the stuff that matters just as much outside Middle-earth, if you ask me.
That's the best kind of deep dive. You don't just know more, you got to do something with it.
So what will your spark be? Who will you see the potential in when others don't? That's something to think about as we wrap up this deep dive into Gandalf, the Grey, and the White.